Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ask Lewis. Today I think we're going to dive nice and deep into one particular question, which I think is a hot topic that everybody's talking about at the moment with their bikes. People want to know, what can you upgrade, and should I be buying new wheels, and should I be buying this, and should I be buying that? We can make a really big difference on your bike by changing one small thing. You've got the question on YouTube, sing it out properly, but I am already ready for it anyway.
Yes, and I'm interested in this one because it does make a huge difference. All right, here it goes. This one's from Steve on YouTube, and he said, while I know the answer to this one, a question for the show is, can you discuss the difference in inner tube types? I don't even know how to pronounce that word.
Butyl?
How do you pronounce that?
Butyl?
B-U-T-Y-L. I'm going red with embarrassment right now.
I didn't research that word before I answered this question.
I know the rest, latex, TPU, I have no idea what that stands for, and even tubeless. So letting the average punter know the difference and what things to take note of if they get a puncture, etc. When it comes to repairs, e.g. TPU specific patch kits compared to standard, weird word, butyl ones, road plugs, etc. So
Okay. All right, I'm gonna make that sound a little bit more simple. I suppose when we're looking at tubes and wheels and tires and stuff to do with the part that actually touches the ground, we've got three main types, three main families. We've got tubes, which can also be called clincher. We've got tubeless, which is having sealant in there. There is no tube, it is tubeless. There's some goo that will seal it up from the inside. And then the third one is called tubular. Tubular, sometimes also called singles, is what a lot of the racers use. It's pretty much like a tire and a tube built into one thing. It's incredibly fast, it's super lightweight, it's the fastest thing you'll ever ride on. All the racers are using it, but if you get a flat tire, I don't think you can fix it on the side of the road. I think you'd have to replace your tire on the side of the road, which is a 3-day job at a lot of bike shops. So tubular is good for your race wheels only on race day. We're going to dive deeply into talking mostly about the first one, which was tubes. When we talk about tubes or clincher, it's the same, two words for the same thing. Most people just run your standard tube, which is just like a rubber tube. It's obviously a stretchy material. You know, you pump your air into there. The tube is a tube. It's just easy, it's just straightforward. It's what most people run. To buy a new tube is about $10, whereas some people have chosen to upgrade to a different type of tube. This one, you can see its color is also different. This one is called a latex tube. Latex is like a thinner, more lightweight material. It's a little bit stretchier. It's a lot more comfortable to ride on. Latex is obviously like the same material that, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on the internet, but it's the same material that comes in a condom as well. So it's designed to be very stretchy and lightweight, and even very thin material, a lot thinner than what the rubber tube is still strong enough as well and still stretchy enough to pump up. So latex tubes are significantly lighter and more comfortable than what the normal rubber tubes are, I suppose. The trade-off is a normal tube is about $10. A latex tube is, I'm gonna take a guess and say about $20, so about double the price. But recently, and I don't know how long ago recently is, within the last couple of years, there's a new type of tube that's come out called TPU. I did a quick Google search into what TPU actually stands for, and because it's a big scientific name, I can't remember it completely, but it's something to do with thermoplastic poly something. Science stuff. I'm going to hold this in my hands and I'm going to say it feels like plastic rather than rubber. It's a very thin material. I don't think it's as stretchy as what either of the other tubes are. So it's just a very different material.
It feels like a raincoat.
It feels like a raincoat, exactly right. That's a very good point. It's like the ones that you wear, you know, you get given out a free poncho at the football sort of thing. That's kind of what it feels like. It's just really thin, more comfortable. In my hand, this feels significantly more lightweight. I was saying normal tube is normal weight. Latex tube feels like about half the weight. Would you agree?
Yeah.
About that?
That's quite a bit heavier than that. And then
this feels like half the weight again.
It doesn't even feel like I'm holding anything.
It's the best. So reasons why you might upgrade your tubes are thinking about the rotating mass. So if you wanted to speed up on your bike, for example, you're taking off at the traffic lights and you're trying to build speed and the wheel starts at a stop and then is slowly becoming a little bit faster, the actual rotating mass at the edge of the circumference of the wheel, the rotating mass is lighter. So you'll be able to speed up quicker and you'll be able to slow down faster. You could do some reading about the word inertia to understand exactly why that is the case. So a lighter rolling circumference will make it easier to speed up, easier to slow down. I would assume that in regards to like puncture protection, these two ones are a lot thinner than what the rubber tube is, but being the fact that it's the latex and the thermoplastic poly something, that it's a different material, so it's able to stretch more. So maybe if a thorn was to go in, maybe it's less likely to actually pierce through the material that is there. So it's become a hot topic for a lot of people to talk about. If you ever get the opportunity to test them out, I strongly would recommend it. Again, I'd say a normal tube is about $10, a latex tube is about $20, and these TPU tubes are about $40. They're very expensive, but I mean, in your hand there, you can obviously feel it's a lot more lightweight.
It's really lightweight. And you know, when you're holding it just now, it's like this is really thick and heavy and rubbery. You just feel like you're the drag, but it feels strong. Like nothing feels like it'll punch much through that. That's stretchy and light. And this, you're like, how can that even? How is that strong even?
Well, the word that they use, that thermoplastic, that obviously means it has plastic in there instead of a rubber or a latex material. It's a very solid. What's the opposite of brittle? A very solid, I don't know, strong material, I suppose. So less likely to pierce or less likely to puncture, I think.
Yeah. It's not even stretchy. Like you can't stretch that. Like this one you can stretch, that one you can stretch. But that's just you think, how is that? That's amazing. Like, and I can imagine that you'd be a lot faster on that. Easier to speed up and easier to slow down, which I think are both obviously very important things to do on your bike, whether it's taking off at the traffic lights, whether it's slowing down because there's a hazard in front of you that you need to brake for or something like that. The inertia of the wheel will be able to either slow down or speed up easier for less effort. So it's probably one of the most cost-effective upgrades you can do. You could spend money and buy carbon wheels for $1,000, or you could buy a new handlebar, or buy a more aerodynamic helmet, or whatever it is you wanted to buy. But if you spend, $40 or $20 on new inner tubes, it's significantly cheaper, but you might notice more of a benefit as well. So I'd recommend doing some reading about rubber tubes, latex tubes and TPU tubes. You're not more likely to get a puncture because you've got a thinner one than you have a thick rubber one?
Yeah, I can see your thinking there. I feel like you'd be right, even just the material, as in if you were trying to push something through rubber versus trying to push something through plastic. Plastic is a lot harder than what rubber is, so that would make sense to me. And again, I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to say on video, but obviously latex, like I said, it's the same thing as what they use for condoms. If they were using rubber for condoms, I'm sure they've done enough research to find out why they're using latex. They talk about it being safer and all this sort of stuff as well. But I'm sure that these condom brands have decided why they're going to use latex and not rubber. So I'm gonna let them do that research. I don't need to do the research. I don't need to test out rubber. Anyway, let's move on. I'm blushing.
Well, no, that's cool. And I like when you mentioned that you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money on wheels to make it faster and lighter. That you could actually get this is the same.
Exactly. Yeah. You might even get a very similar amount of an upgrade from upgrading your $40 tubes as opposed to upgrading your $1,000 wheels. You might get a similar result. So save your money, test try these tubes and these latex and these rubber and these TPU and all this sort of stuff, and it might be a very cost-effective upgrade for your bike.
And it's pretty colours.
And it's pretty colours. Not that you see it hitting the side of the tube until you have to repair it, but hopefully you don't have to repair it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I reckon that sums up pretty well.
Perfect.
Cool, awesome, right? Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you know a couple new things about some different types of tubes out there. The main 3 types that we've got coming under that tubes and clincher family, as opposed to tubeless and tubular. Hopefully you understand a little bit more now, and I think we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.